Hey friends, welcome to our channel, Life Winner. Today, we're going to talk about the most fascinating financial news. Do I know anything about financial news? Hey, I have a PhD in economics, so I can try to decipher the economic news. Recently, there is a big news. Google canceled its plan to delete cookies from Chrome. This news reminds me of my coworker who always forgets to clean out the cookie jar, which is so funny. But seriously, this decision could have a major impact on our online experience. On our channel, we're all about looking at the facts and figures. It's like a financial detective story where we unravel the mystery behind the financial news. Well, let's get started and make today a great day. Google has announced that Google's recent plan to keep third-party cookies in its Chrome browser. The company said Monday, following years of promises to phase out tiny packets of code designed to track internet users, cookies, which are cookies that track user information, packets of information that allow websites and advertisers to identify individual web servers and track their browsing habits. They can also be used for unwanted surveillance. Geez, how could this happen? Hear from the experts.
Google decision is a major impact on attention publishers since these groups rely on third-party cookies to place and major results.
Google is focusing on giving users more control over how their browsing data is used. The disappearance of third-party cookies could have a negative impact on small and medium-sized publishers, as these sites rely on cookies to deliver personalized data.
Summarize the views of the experts in favor of Google, barely keeping one's head above water. This decision gives advertisers and publishers who rely on cookies for ad delivery and performance measurement more time to adapt to new technologies and market conditions. What are your thoughts on this topic? Is it really true? Are the words of experts correct or not? I think experts are sometimes not reliable. First of all, we have to be clear about what kind of expert is speaking and whether there is any conflict of interest with the person concerned. The remarks of any expert have their own stance. Even for a Nobel laureate in economics, if he is an employee or consultant of the government, he will still express his views from the standpoint of the government. Even the god of the stock market, Warren Buffett, may not be able to listen to all the words of ordinary investors. They are competitors with financial predators in the same market. The conflict of interest between them decided that these experts cannot tell the secret of investment. Moreover, many conclusions in the field of economics are often based on some kind of hypothetical model, coupled with the rapidly changing market conditions, not subject to human will. So it is extremely difficult to accurately predict, and cannot blindly trust the authority. Who should I trust? Back to the beginning. Why do you read financial news? Watching financial news is like digging for treasure. You may find important information in it that will affect your financial future. However, you run the risk of being overwhelmed by the amount of information available. Learning to read and analyze financial news strategically is the way to go.
Pay attention to the bad news and opposing views, because good news is the norm.
Reading financial news also helps investors to challenge their own views and assumptions. For example, when you're convinced of a trend or theory, reading a contrarian article may give you a fresh perspective. Listen to the opponents. Some audience members think you're not right either. That's fine. Let's listen to the naysayers. Jelly Ryan is the Chief Policy Officer for Brave, a privacy-focused browser.
Eliminating third-party cookies is an important step in protecting user privacy and contributing to a more transparent and secure online environment.
Arvind Narayanan is a professor of computer science at Princeton University who specializes in privacy and security research. He supports the elimination of third-party cookies.
This will reduce the risk of misuse of user data and promote more responsible use of data.
Kashmir Hill is a technology reporter for the New York Times, focusing on privacy and data protection issues.
This is an important step in protecting user privacy and preventing data abuse.
Getting to the heart of the matter, the challenges of privacy protection. It's like a superhero's quest to protect innocent data from intrusion in the cyber world while fighting off malicious hackers and data thieves. It's not an easy task. The delay in disabling third-party cookies means that user privacy protections will be further delayed, which isn't good news for those who care about digital privacy. Who is the superhero? Google? No. The technical and regulatory challenges faced by Google may be the main reason for this delay. Developing alternative technologies will take more time, and regulators' concerns about the new technology are also affecting progress. Overall, the decision has generated a lot of discussion and mixed reactions in the industry. What are your thoughts on the decision? Uncovering the truth. Who do you really trust? Let's take a step-by-step approach to solving the mystery. First, let's look at the backgrounds of the experts who support Google's approach. Andrew Yang is a well-known entrepreneur, lawyer, and political commentator. He is the co-founder of the Forward Party, which is dedicated to promoting political reform in the United States. He ran for U.S. president in 2020 and is known for pushing for universal basic income (UBI). Andrew Yang has not worked directly with Google, nor has he had a direct business relationship with Google. However, many of his views and policy proposals are relevant to technology companies, such as Google. Anthony Chavez is vice president of Google's Privacy Sandbox program, responsible for advancing technology solutions for privacy protection and data use. Anthony Castle is CEO of IAB Tech Lab, an organization dedicated to developing the technologies and standards that underpin the digital media ecosystem. Although Anthony Castle has not worked directly for or had direct business dealings with Google, the organization he works for, IAB Tech Lab, is closely associated with the business of major technology companies at Google. Well, that's interesting. Let's move on. Why Google is canceling its plan to remove cookies from Chrome? Lina Cohen, a technologist at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, said cookies could lead to consumer harm, such as predatory ads that target vulnerable populations.
Google's decision to continue to allow third-party cookies, despite the fact that other major browsers have blocked them for years, is a direct consequence of their ad-driven business model.
A number of U.S. publicly traded companies are very active in operating third-party cookies, particularly in the area of digital advertising and marketing technology. Revenue from third-party cookies. Revenue statistics specific to third-party cookies may not be easy to find, as these companies do not usually disclose this portion of their revenue separately. Often, these revenues are included in broader digital advertising or data services revenues. However, I can provide aggregate revenue figures for these companies for digital advertising and data services, which typically include revenue from third-party cookies. Google's advertising revenue amounted to about $224 billion in 2023. Meta's advertising revenue in 2023 will be approximately $116.6 billion. The Trade Desk's revenue in 2023 is around $1.6 billion United States dollars. Revenue from digital advertising and data services as a percentage of total revenue. Google's advertising revenue accounts for about 80% of its total revenue. These percentages demonstrate the extent of these companies' reliance on digital advertising and data services. Google's Privacy Sandbox program, designed to replace third-party cookies, is already attracting a lot of attention. I'm not sure, in neither two countries and regions like the US and Europe, the EU supports the elimination of third-party cookies as a way to help protect user privacy. The EU supports the elimination of third-party cookies as a way to help protect user privacy. The CMA has conducted an in-depth investigation into the digital advertising market. The state supports the elimination of third-party cookies to further protect consumer privacy. Will Google's decision not to remove cookies from Chrome affect my ability to buy Google stock? I'm not sure, but I can share the information with you, provide the information, and it's not too late for you to make a decision. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks for your company, and we'll see you next time. If you like our channel, please remember to follow and subscribe to the Life Winners channel. Let's be winners in life together.